Imagine a kingdom on the very brink of collapse, where promises were broken just as easily as they were made. In the middle of all that chaos, one family held onto a single vow for over 2 centuries. Today, we're going to dive into the incredible story of the Rechabites, a true historical account of radical integrity that honestly serves as a stunning lesson for our own time. But here's where our story kicks off, with a really strange scene. Just picture this for a second. You're in the most sacred place in the entire nation, the Holy Temple, and a prophet of God is practically begging a family to break their lifelong principles. It's a bizarre, confusing moment, and it is the absolute key to understanding everything that follows. You see, this test wasn't just some random event. It was a carefully orchestrated piece of living theater designed to deliver a message that absolutely no one could ignore. And the setting here is so important. It's happening in the house of God. The prophet Jeremiah, a man famous for delivering hard truths, brings this nomadic clan, the Rechabites, into one of the temple chambers. He puts cups and pitchers of wine right in front of them and gives them a direct command: drink wine. You can just imagine the heavy silence in that room. Their response? It's immediate, it's unified, and it's absolute. There's no hesitation, no debating among themselves, just a simple, firm declaration: we do not drink wine. This simple refusal is our very first clue that we're dealing with people of extraordinary conviction. So why the refusal? What's going on here? Well, their conviction wasn't just born in that moment. No, it was the echo of an ancient vow, a promise that stretched all the way back through centuries of their family's history. And I want you to just think about the sheer scale of time here for a minute. We're talking about a promise kept for roughly 250 years. That's 10 generations, maybe even more, all holding fast to the instructions of one ancestor. It is an almost unbelievable display of multi-generational loyalty. So who was this ancestor? His name was Jonadab. Now, he lived way back in the time of King Jehu and was known for his fierce opposition to the idol worship that was corrupting the whole nation. This was a man of real moral clarity who wanted to build a firewall for his family, a way of life that would keep them separate from the decay of the culture all around them. So he gave them 4 simple, specific rules, but each one had a profound purpose. Abstaining from wine, that set them apart from the excesses and idolatry of their neighbors. Refusing to build houses or plant vineyards, that was a radical rejection of settling down, which often led to adopting local corrupt customs. By living as nomads in tents, they stated a distinct people, defined not by what they owned, but by their principles. Now, to really grasp the power of this moment in the temple, we have to understand the world in which it all took place. This wasn't a time of peace and prosperity. This was a kingdom in a deep, deep crisis. The nation of Judah was in a total spiritual freefall. They were led by a corrupt king named Jehoiakim. For years, God had been sending warnings through prophets like Jeremiah, but the leaders and the people, they just refused to listen. It was a culture completely defined by compromise. And at the very same time, the situation on the ground was dire. The Babylonian Empire was just sweeping through the region, and their armies were a direct threat. This external pressure is actually the whole reason the nomadic Rechabites were in Jerusalem in the first place. They were looking for temporary safety from these invading forces. And all of that brings us right back to that temple chamber. With the kingdom literally crumbling outside, this one small family's unbreakable promise becomes the focal point of God's entire message. And here is the crucial point, the main idea of this whole event. The test was never really about the Rechabites. It was for the people of Judah. God was holding up this family's incredible faithfulness like a mirror, forcing Judah to take a long, hard look at its own reflection. And the contrast is just devastating. Think about it. The Rechabites stayed obedient for over 250 years to the commands of a human ancestor, a man who was long dead. And yet, the people of Judah couldn't stay faithful to their living heavenly Father who was speaking to them constantly through his prophets. One group honored a simple family code, the other ignored a divine covenant. The difference is just staggering. So, what do we take away from all this? This ancient story isn't just a history lesson. It's a profound study in what it really means to build an enduring legacy. In fact, I think we can pull out 4 key lessons from their example that are just as relevant for us today as they were all the way back then. All right, let's break these down. First up, your choices today absolutely shape generations tomorrow. Jonadab's one decision created a culture of integrity that lasted for centuries. It's a powerful reminder that the standards we set echo long after we're gone. Second, loyalty and commitment are rare, and because of that, they are incredibly powerful. In a world that prizes convenience, the Rechabites' unwavering commitment made them stand out. True loyalty is like a superpower. Third, obedience creates protection you can't even see. Their simple rules acted as a guardrail, keeping them from the moral and spiritual collapse happening all around them. And finally, you can't control the crisis, but you can control your response. The Babylonians were at the gate, but the Rechabites focused on the one thing they had power over, their own character. And you know what? Their obedience did not go unrewarded. As a direct result of their faithfulness, God makes a promise to them. He says that while the nation of Judah would be shattered and sent into exile, the Rechabite family line would endure. Their integrity literally earned them a future. The whole story really boils down to this powerful truth. It's not about grand, heroic, one-time moments. It's about small acts of faithfulness, repeated day after day, year after year. That kind of consistency is what builds a life and a legacy that truly lasts. So, as we wrap this up, this final question is really for all of us to think about. Legacy isn't about money or possessions. It's about the principles, the values, the character you instill in the people you influence. Jonadab planted seeds of integrity 250 years before this story ever even took place. So the real question for us is, what are you planting today?